starts now.
Voters making their voices heard across Ohio and Michigan.
We have the results today on a number of key races that took place right here in our area. We're going to recap the election in our big story today.
A big voter turnout for the election. According to the Lucas County Board of Elections, 21% of Lucas County registered voters cast their ballots in this election. That's around the same amount of voters that voted in the 2021 general election. Wood County also seeing a big voter turnout there, with 33% of registered voters casting their ballots. More than 22,000 of those people voted on Election Day, and about 6,000 voted absentee.
Well, history was made in Toledo last night with Toledo Mayor Wade Kapszukiewicz becoming the first Toledo mayor to serve 3 consecutive terms. Voters re-elected Kapszukiewicz with 65% of the vote. In the past, Toledo mayors had been limited to 2 consecutive terms. However, voters approved a change to the city charter last fall. Kapszukiewicz beat out independent challenger Roberto Torres, an advisor, the city of Detroit, and longtime public servant whose career actually started in Toledo. Torres earned 32% of the vote. Meanwhile, 7% of the vote was listed as write-in.
To be reelected now, not once but twice, is humbling, and I take very seriously the trust that the voters have placed in me.
I believe that what we did is we've awakened the community to the ability that they all have for change.
Meantime, Toledo voters are also electing half of city council. These are the official results. All 5 of the incumbents on the ballot will be keeping their council seats. Brittany Jones thanking voters today, saying she is continuing to center her work on the everyday realities that shape people's lives. There is one new face coming to Toledo City Council. That'll be Erin Kramer. She replaces Carrie Hartman, who resigned from council last month.
Well, after 16 years, Oregon will see a new face as mayor following yesterday's election. Current
Mayor Michael Safarian has served 4 terms in office. Yesterday, Oregon voters elected a new leader, current City Councilman Steven Salander.
Well, 13 Action News anchor Alexandria Manthe joins us live now from Oregon with what that mayor-elect has to say. Alexandria?
Yeah, Tina and Tony, incoming Mayor Steven Salander received about 63% of yesterday's vote. Now that's compared to current Mayor Michael Safarian's roughly 36% of the vote. Now Salander is not new to Oregon politics. He's served on city council for the last 2 years. Now he tells me he wants to see more transparency from Oregon's mayor and wants to give residents more opportunity to get involved. Of course, there were several issues top of mind for Oregon voters, but a big one is the proposed data center. Mayor Safarian tells me that when he was at the polls yesterday, he heard a lot of concern from residents. He believes that a data center would be a good fit for the city's industrial park because of the revenue it would bring to the area. But Salander says he isn't for or against and still needs to know more information.
I was for it earlier in the year, but as information came out more and some of the information we were given changed, I have the same concerns that our citizens have as well, and we need to look at the full big picture.
They made their thoughts heard that maybe I wasn't getting their opinions understood, that they didn't want a data center here. And that reflected pretty strong in the vote tally.
I spoke with Mayor-elect Steven Salander on what he plans to implement during his 4-year term. I'll have more on that tonight on Action News at 6 o'clock. Tony.
Alexandria Manthe reporting live for us this afternoon. It was a big night for school districts across Northwest Ohio as well. In Perrysburg, voters passed the school district's levy request last night. District leaders say they focused on voter engagement and outreach to try to pass the levy that failed last year. This time around, there was emergency 5-year operating levy on the ballot, which appears to have overwhelmingly passed. District leaders say the levy will generate about $11 million each year. This levy was asking for less money than the previous one, set to maintain what the district already has. District officials say spending has been a topic of interest for voters.
I think when a district can give taxpayers this kind of a bargain and really be spending less than the state average, not only for students, but not only for per pupil, but also for administration, spending the bulk of our money on student instruction, I think that tells taxpayers what they need to know, and I think they heard our message.
Perrysburg School District leaders say there was a $13 million annual loss due to last year's failed levy. It led to more than 50 cut positions. Dr. Anstad told us that those positions are not coming back, but now no more additional positions will have to be cut. Perrysburg Stands Up, an organization that opposed the levy, tells 13 Action News today that while they're glad students will keep their extracurriculars, they say the district's financial management and mismanagement remains unresolved. The group adds they will, quote, will not look the other way while administrative bloat continues to drain resources. We will continue to hold the district accountable and push the new board to deliver the accountability and fiscal responsibility this community deserves. Democrats sweep a series of high-profile elections across the country with key races in New York, New Jersey, and Virginia.
Oh, those results have excited the party and sent Republicans looking for answers. ABC's Rena Roy has more on the elections.
Zohran Mamdani ushering in a new era in the nation's largest city after being elected the first Muslim and South Asian mayor of New York. The 34-year-old self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist winning the majority vote.
Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
Mamdani vowing to make the city more affordable, pledging free childcare for all, a rent freeze, and free buses.
I'm looking forward to showing the power of an example here in New York City, an example of what it means to not just diagnose the despair in working people's lives as the cost of living crisis, but to deliver on it. And that's the contrast between myself and President Trump.
2 Democratic women also taking home wins last night in Virginia and New Jersey's high-stakes gubernatorial races. Governor-elect of New Jersey, Mikey Sherrill, also focused on affordability.
I started the campaign like I always start campaigns, listening to thousands of New Jerseyans and what was on their minds, and it was affordability, it was housing, healthcare, utility costs.
In Virginia, Abigail Spanberger flipping control of the state and making history as the state's first female governor.
Virginians want a governor who will not only stand up for them, for our jobs, for our economy, but also lay out clear plans to really impact and address the issues that matter to them.
President Trump reacting to the results today during a breakfast with Senate Republicans.
If you read the pollsters, the shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans, and that was a big factor. And they say that I wasn't on the ballot was the biggest factor.
And a big win for Democrats in California, too, where voters changed the state's congressional map, an attempt to pick up more seats for Democrats, countering Republican redistricting in states like Texas ahead of next year's midterm elections. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.